So we have a really cool card effect for you guys today. There's different principles you can do with this, but once we've shown you what it is and how to do it, then I'll go through it all in detail and explain it, and then you can get out there and start using it. So this is a little trick using all of these cards here. Now we're going to go through and take out one of these cards in a second and do a trick using just that one card. So what I'll do, I will riffle down the card, you shout stop whenever you want, and that's the card we'll use. So wherever they say stop, we have a look at this card here. I'll have a peek myself. King of clubs. Now before we do this as well, I need to make the card special. I need to put a little crease in it. If I take my nail, I can just run it down the middle and get a bit of a crease, and then you should be able to, hope you can see this, bend the card just along its edge there. I'll leave the rest of the cards down here. Now I hope you can see this okay. Now if you watch really closely, with nothing in my hands here, nothing at all, keep watching. I'm just going to fold around where we have that crease, just there. Now watch closely and keep watching the whole of the card. If you keep watching, you're going to see the second the whole card changes red, and that's right, every single part of that card is now completely and utterly red, and that is the trick.
G'day champion, how are you? Welcome back to Murphy's Magic Saturday Sorcery. My name of course is Beau. Thank you so much for joining me on this absolutely delicious Saturday. Now you have just seen the incredible Chris Webb show us his awesome color change. If you want to learn how that is done, stick around to later on the episode, well actually in literally like 30 seconds, and Chris will teach you that. But if you want to stick around to even later on in the episode, I'll show you how to win the Chris Webb bundle. So if you want to win that bundle, stick around to later on the episode. But first things first, let's jump over to Chris. He's going to teach us how to do the color change.
So now that you've seen the trick itself and what it looks like and some performances of it, I'm now going to show you what it is and how we're going to make this gimmick playing card. So you need a few things. First of all, you're going to need a regular blue back deck of cards. The only reason I'm going from blue to red is so you can see the colour difference. Obviously you can do this with any playing card, it doesn't really matter. It's a really simple gimmick to make. So get a blue deck and then get yourself some red cards. Now I've got some spares here as well, so I have blues and reds to make the gimmicks, but you need the colour contrast. That's the reason we're using these two. So let me show you what the gimmick is first. Now this one here, let me just show what it looks like first of all. It's a bit of a funny thing, but basically it folds in half, which we know creases, and as well as that it does this on the back. And it looks really weird and really strange, but it's really simple, okay? Now let me explain how this works. In the later part you'll be seeing this, and when this is rolled up then you see the difference of the colour. But because we're only folding half of the card around and you're actually covering it behind your fingers and you're pushing and gliding up, that's what we're doing, okay? So that I'll explain it more as we go along, but basically it'll look like this. Now this is really easy to make, and we're going to show you how to do that now. Okay, so in order to make the gimmick, you're going to need to take two cards. You need a red back card and a blue back card, or two contrasting cards, okay? Now the first thing you need to do one thing to each card. First things first, with the red card, you need to cut down to where my thumb is along the base here, this base line here, from the top all the way down to there, okay? Now once you've done that, it will look like this, okay? So you have a little split in the card, and it runs all the way down to that end point there. Okay, I hope you can all see that. That's the first part, and that's the first part of the card. It doesn't matter what's on this face here because they're not going to see this, alright? But it's cut all the way down to that border edge or around there. Then on the next card, the blue card, you need to take it and fold it lengthways. You fold it, touching the edges together, creasing it all the way down the middle. Okay, now it's important that you do use your court card for this, because this will be the front card, kind of the cover card, so make sure you do that. And then once you've put your crease down the card, you're going to add double stick tape. So there's my crease, and the stick tapes this. Now I've just laid it on because it's a really simple gimmick to make, but you can take your time to fill it right up to the edges, and then you've got your gimmick ready to go. But you need to cover all of that side in tape, and just a little strip down the bottom, and if you put 2 strips on the side here, the piece that I cut off running all the way down there is actually on there, and there's one other piece we'll use for the other part of this gimmick later on. So you put the tape on to the gimmick there first, and now we need to attach these 2 cards together. So the magic of editing skills there, I can speed this up. So you need to peel these strips off. So let me come around and show you this fairly. This is the first one, the second one. I'll do that one in a second down the bottom edge there. And all you're going to do is lay this card on top of here. I'll do this one in a second, as I said, because I want to line that one up later on. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, line it up in the corner and stick it down. So if I come straight down to the edge here, you can obviously take your time when doing this, but it's pretty simple. Once it's lined up, we can squish that side down, so that's one side stuck, and then peel off this part, and then we're going to stick these 2 lower portions together. So again, I come down, squeeze across, and that's stuck on. So now you have the basic bare bones of the gimmick here. Now, to do this top part here, which we need to have a stick down so it sticks to the top, you have 2 options. One option is to use double stick tape. The second option is to use Scotch Up. It's a repositional glue. So I'm going to do that just now. If you use this, you won't get sticky popping noises. So you're going to open it up to here, and you want to put a little bit on here, but not on that point, just this edge here. So from about middle over, and give it a nice little dab, just like that. So that's nice and tacky there, and then you let it dry. And this just means that when you're bringing this down and squishing it on top and sticking it, it means you can later get your thumb here where it's not tacked, and you'll see that it just pop back then. So if I come here and squeeze, it pops off, and then I can peel it down and get ready for my setup. But that's the basic gimmick, stuck down there, stuck along the bottom, and you cut the slit all the way down to the head crown there. Rewatch it again if you're not sure, but take your time in making this and your gimmick will last you a lot longer. Oh, and a little tip, as I said, I've done this the wrong way around, but make sure your face card, so the blue card, is a court card, and you're not going to see this crease a little bit better.
Have you seen last week's free tutorial yet? Make sure you do. Card on screen right now, or the link is in the description. Make sure you check it out. It's an absolute feast for the eyes, and it's completely free. Go treat yourself. Now, I'm so sorry, Chris. I need to interrupt you for just a second for the mid-episode giveaway. Before we find out what this week's giveaway is, we need to find out who won last week's bundle. So I've chosen my random winner, and congratulations, you, my friend, you are the winner. So if you could email me just here, I'll get that prize out to you quicker. You can change a card into another card through a change of color. That's how it makes, you pick up what I'm putting down. Now onto this week's giveaway. If you want a chance to win the Chris Webb bundle, all you need to do is comment below what card you would change, what color you would change a card from what into what. If it's red into blue, green into black, orange into aggressive, nutmeg, whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. I'll choose someone out at random and you'll be announced in next week's video. So good luck. All right, champion, ready to check out more videos just like this one? Make sure you check out our YouTube channel where we drop new videos every single day. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe, because why not? Save yourself coming back later.
So, you made your gimmick, ready to go on to the next part, which is the routine. Now this is a really simple routine which doesn't really allow a handout at the end, but I'll go over that in a later section. So what you're going to do is take your gimmick and you're going to close it in the closed position so it's ready to go, which is just sealed up, and you take this and you can place it on the bottom of your deck, so it's down here. If you're worried about people seeing the crease along the card, then all you do is you chuck this on top here. It's shown at such a glance once they've picked it or once it's been forced on them, they probably won't even notice it anyway. And that's why you use a king or a court card to cover its identity a little bit more, because the crease will match in with the picture. Okay, so don't use like 2s and 3s, you'll see it a mile off. Then you can put a cover card on it if you want to, and it makes sense, it's not really a problem. So I'd come out, big thing first of all, I would take the cards out of a blue box, a blue bicycle box, because again you're selling the fact that every single card is blue, okay? And you show all these. Now you show their backs, you just don't want to show your gimmick card down the bottom. So you can come up, you can spread this way, so we're going to do something using these cards. And sometimes it's not really important that you note they're blue, it's pretty obvious. When they see that card change, and when you're doing the trick, you just say, well, make it change colour, and that kind of works for itself. But anyway, you show all the cards this way, you then show them all this way, just don't show those bottom ones, and And then once you're here, you're going to force them their card. Now you're going to force it without showing the back. There's a few ways to do this, but I'm going to teach you a really simple force, but you use whatever force you feel is correct. Okay? So, a bit bunged up, dodgy nose, dodgy cold. So watch closely. We're going to take the cards, and all I do is I just give the cards one cut. Then bear in mind I've got my cover card at the moment on the bottom of this. So what you can do as well before you start is you can just almost strip cut that off and put it back on top, or just get rid of it. So you just got this on the bottom ready to go, and you're going to be forcing this bottom card without showing the back. Then I'm going to cut the cards all the way around, holding a break at the back, and I'm going to come up and I re-grip it with my thumb at the back edge like this. This is a pretty exposed view, but this is just to show you it. And this is kind of like a timing force, a dribble force, in which you just come down here, and as I'm dribbling these cards, whenever they say stop, I just release the pad of my thumb and all that block will fall off, leave me on the force card, and I can show them straight away. If you want to, you can still have a break on the back. You say I'll run down the side, you say stop whenever you want, they say stop, and then you hit the card here. And then I'm pulling away at the back of the break to force this card and say, remember it. Only downside to doing a riffle one, you might catch the red of the excuse me, or the red of the gimmick on the way down. So to combat that, what you can do is you can bring it up to here and say, I'll run down, you say stop whenever you want, and bang, you can get to it that way, and they're not seeing the backs, and then show them their force card. So you force the card on them, and that's the first part. So you force them the card, they can see the king. From this point here, I'll just casually cut it to the bottom, and I'll say, let's see what you got. You got the king of clubs, good card. And then I need to kind of justify what this crease is in the card. Now you can do this with the gimmick without it being pre-folded and pre-creased, but it's a bit of a risk when you go to do it and fold it and line it up that you might see gaps and corners. So it's best to have the gimmick with the crease, and all you're going to do from this point here is say, I'm actually going to make a crease in the card. Now this is still tilted towards you, so I've not really seen the face that much. At a glance up at face height, and that was it. So I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to put a crease in the card. And I doubt, layman will know you can put a crease in the card with your thumb, but we just do it. So then I'm going to come along here, slightly twist it towards myself, almost wrist killed. I'm going to pretend to run my finger down here to make a crease. And then when I want to then show it to them that I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm going to say, but actually we can make it, this makes a crease, it makes it easier to fold. And that's when I'm going to start doing this bending motion here. And you generally are bending the gimmick in half, that's all you're doing. You're just bending it to try to make sense of why you're putting a crease in the card. Because it'd be a bit weird if you just fold it really easily, I think, and carried on from there. So do a few like this. Do not come over and show the red. Don't want to be doing that. So come here, just like this. If you were really clever, what you could do is also fold this card here, crease this card here. When you're doing this folding action, you could be doing a double, and in turn you're showing the back of a blue card. But let's not get complicated. So we're gonna do the crease, the fold here, and then we bring it up. Now this is how you bring it up. You come up, show the card fully, let it bend a little bit because you've just made the crease. And then when you put the cards down, you want to put them down with their backs showing. So I put it down on the table and I spread them out. If you haven't got a table, you can fan it out and put it on their hands. It doesn't really matter. So the cards are there, you're just saying blue, in a subtle way, a very subtle way. So we'll leave the blue cards there. Now we need to get into the get ready to perform the actual change, or the visual change of the colour of the card. So let's get into that now. So we have the card here, and as I said, the get ready is quite simple. All we need to do is pull this back, and that's kind of the first part, and then we're going to fold this around, and then we're going to wipe up to reveal the change. So let me spin a little bit to show you this. So I'm here. Now, purposely where we put the tape, as we explained in the making the gimmick earlier, it's in the top corner. Reason being that part is not tacked. And of course, as well as the tape, you can use the re-stick glue, which we showed you earlier as well. So it's not tacked here for the reason that once it's closed and you've dabbed it off so it's quite light, this one's quite new, so it will make a little bit of sticky noise. It just means I can get my thumb into here because it's not tacked, and as I push back, it will pop open that corner. And it's very slight little push. So it's there, my thumb can come in, you can even bevel it slightly and you can get it to ping off. But it's best to take your thumb and just ride it in, push it, and it will pop back. That's pretty simple, okay? So you've pushed it back to this point here. Now all you're going to do is you're going to, I'm going to keep saying I'm going to make the crease a little bit more. And what I'm doing is, when you do this, when you're doing it straight onto them like this, you don't really come forward because they're going to see it. You slightly tilt it back and tilt it inwards. Just takes the edge off so you can't see it, okay? But anyway, so slightly tilting it back and angle it towards yourself. You then do this, okay? You're going to bring this part down here, so you've popped it off. Your thumb can continue coming down so it pushes it flat, and you're actually going to bring it over to this side here. So at speed it looks like this. I've popped it, I've come straight down, I just pull it to the side. And then I can kind of re-grip for 1 second to show the one card and there's nothing here. But it's all just held down here. Alright? Then, I'm back around to here. So this is at the very low point of where it kind of has been stuck and joined. And all we're going to do now is we're going to fold this section around. Now when you do, it's going to pull that around with it, which is what we want, okay? So I'm here, but the way you do it is your lower 3 fingers, or the index, middle and ring, come along the bottom here, and you're just going to catch that edge and push it around, so it's like this. And it goes, pushes it all the way around. So what you're doing, if I do it on a quite side angle, from what you're doing here, it's here, I'm pushing it around, and I'll open my fingers up so you can see what's happening. It's coming around and it sits with your fingers. So now this is sat behind these 3 fingers. Now you do 2 fingers to do the change, but the reason there's 3 is just there's no peeking whilst you're getting ready, whilst you're setting up to do the trick and do the change itself. Okay? So we're there. You can now see the card, you can see the blue, and now you're about to load the red on. Now the great thing already is half the card's red already, so we're done, we're halfway home. Now, for the change itself, this is the little swiping motion that you're going to need to do. With your 2 fingers now covering it, that's all you need to cover half the width of the card. You want to bring it down slightly so you don't see any of the red down here just yet. Then all you're going to do is you bring your fingers out like this, curl your middle and pinky in so they're not in the way, and you can use your thumb to hold the back of the gimmick, and you're just going to push and feed it all the way up to the card. When you get to the top, you just keep pushing, and your finger at this point will cover here and squeeze, and you're stuck down. So straight on, it's here, and my thumb comes into place, and I'm pushing it, applying pressure, come up, and you come round to here. As long as you've got a couple of fingers to cover the top corner here, because you might see that corner ping up, but that's why your fingers are there to cover it, okay? It's a bit tough to do in slow motion, but I'll try and show you it one more time. So I'm here, I'm coming up, covering, and then I squeeze and I'm done. Okay, so from behind, I'll show it to you really quickly. Just from here, you can see it here, and you're doing this, you're feeding, and like that, and it comes up, and you can just kind of line it all up and bring it out. And I bring it out to this side angle, but I'll explain why in a second. So that's the basic part of the colour change itself. So now that you've done the actual change itself, you're ready to kind of do your clean up and to show everything. So at the moment you've come up here, you've wiped and you're ready to go. All you need to do is unfold your gimmick. That's all you've got to do, okay? But you want to do it showing the red side first because you want them to see the impact. They've only actually seen half the card change. And the other half's already done, but they don't know that, so they're going to get to see that part. And this is what we do. So taking the cards here, you've rolled up, you've come to the top, you're here. I like to twist it aside at the end to stick it all down and give it a good squeeze. Now, if you kind of went like this and opened it up, you might see the line here, because that's where the 2 cards join, and it's quite natural for it to be there. But you don't want to see that. So what you do is this, with your thumbs pushing on the inside of the card, you're going to pop it open and push out. And you square along the edge, which kind of flattens all the little discrepancies as such, and it squashes it all in together. So you're like this, you've done your change, you brought it up stick, and then you open, squeeze, and pull across. And then you can turn it around and show the card, and then it's changed. You just have to be careful of the little edge at the top here, because it's only stuck at there and there. So in the middle, you might get a little peak. The way you combat that is if once you've done this part and you squeeze and you push it inwards, you bevel at the top as well, pushing pressure here and here with your index fingers, and that will hide that. And then you can spin it around, show the card, and show that it's changed into a red card. And now we're going to go into kind of the ending points and ways to clean up. So now we're going to talk about kind of clean-up possibilities and how to end the effect. Normally for me, you can just go bang, it's red, your card, the only card, has turned red. There you go, thank you very much. and then kind of move on, or put it in your pocket and continue. That's one way you can do it, and sometimes that's all you need. If you do want it to be checked, then that's fine, and all you need to do is, I'm using 9 of clubs because I don't have a spare king of clubs fold up on me already, and all you need to do is put a crease in it, okay? And all you're going to do with this one is you're going to have this card within your deck at the bottom where it would have been next to the other card, the other king, okay? To be fair, you could probably have it anywhere in the deck, but so this card is out the way, so say it's down the bottom, okay? And now you have the point here, you can spread the cards to show them. If you're using this card on the bottom, then it's best that you kick it off to the side and then spread the cards. It just means that when you kind of push these out flat on the table, you're not going to see the red card at the bottom. When on a flat level or on a close-up mat, you're not going to see it kick out, all right? So that's just a little tip thing if you want to do it. Best thing to do is show these blue cards and put them down the table. Little tip for you: if you're finding it hard to pick up cards off a table, whether sometimes you work in bars and restaurants, you can have wet sides, take your card box, this is just a red one I've got here, pop it down, and when you do your trick, you've shown your cards here, place your deck back on the box, and do it on the edges, because it means you can come straight down and pick them up. Little tip there for you from Mr. Chris Webb. Thank you very much. Now we're going to go on to the next part and continue it. So the card at the bottom that you want to switch into play. All right. So you've done their change. You're up here. Bang. There's your red card. I come straight down to the deck. I pick these up, bring them towards me, because this would be their matching king. Don't want them to see it, so I bring it towards me. I take their card. I come down. And then you can almost do like a little gesture, like you're ironing out a crease, and just kind of give it a little push down here. And all you've done is you've caught a break underneath this card. Bear in mind, it's very easy to do because the card's bowed. So as soon as you pick it up, look at that for a break. Easy peasy. And then all you can do is you bring your king down, place it on top whilst we're killed towards you. Just give it a little rub. Do your double lift, taking the 2 as 1. Spin it face down again onto here. And all you're going to do is pick up and take away that card and peel it off. And then you can show it and casually drop it down. And then there you go. So then that means they can check that. And then you can either put the cards away, or if you want to, you can come over and palm your gimmick off and ditch it or whatever you want to do. But in a nutshell, all you're doing, this card's on the bottom, you've got their card, bang, it's changed, come down here. You say, yeah, that's a pretty good crease in that one, and then give it straight back to them and they can check it and keep it. But there you go. Really simple little trick there. Really simple little handling. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and just try and play with different colour changes, different back designs to different deck designs, faces to backs, faces to faces. It's a really simple gimmick, and I'm sure you can apply lots of ideas to it. So thank you very much.
Now that's it. Thank you so much, Chris, for teaching us that awesome colour change. If you want to see more of Chris's work, link in the description below right now to all of his releases, and also his social media, so go show him some love and say thank you. Now while this video is winding up, and if you've got nothing else to do, come over, hanging out on our Discord. We're playing games, doing some trivia, having a magic jam. It's a good fun time. I'll see you there. Otherwise, I'll see you on Tuesday for another episode of Stumped, on Wednesday for a What's New This Week, or I'll see you next Saturday for another Saturday Sorcery. Either way, my friend, take care. See you later. Bye for now. Whoa, look at this. Whoa. So much good magic in there. You need to check this out. You're not going to regret it. I pinky promise you. Oh, whoa. Look at this. This shining diamond over here. What is this? Beautiful. You probably should click that if you haven't subscribed yet. But then you should definitely check out this, because this is good. Treat yourself.